when you hear this kind of amounts of money that have been stolen from Nigeria, our wealth that have been taken away out of Nigeria, what comes to your mind?
Sickening. It sickens me that people somehow can think that some numbers attached to a particular value economy or currency will make them happier. Rich people die, poor people die. Rich people get ill, poor people get ill. Why can't we just understand that fundamental truth and then begin to think seriously about developing our own communities instead of thinking of foreign assets and pouring money that is made for the local community into foreign assets? It sickens me. I don't know what psychological state people will be in when they know that you can only sleep in one bed per night. You can't sleep in two beds.
Does it also sicken you when you hear a lot of these European countries and Western countries, they commit to return those monies, but they never live up to that obligation?
The thief, the collaborators, and anyone that is involved in it, they are called accomplices in law. If you handle stolen goods, you are classified as a criminal. So if you think the source of income is suspect, it is your responsibility to look at anti-money laundering laws that will guide you, protect you. Because you, as a nation, you're leaving yourself vulnerable to all sorts of criticisms and accusations. Why can you say we have a law, the law must be respected regardless of who is involved in it? It's illegal, pure and simple.
I mean, for example, the case of the former governor of Delta State, Ibori. I mean, you were there and you followed all that happened, the trial and the drama. And when he returned to the country, he returned to the cheer of his people.
Which is something I couldn't believe. I didn't know whether it was a staged event or a real event, or the people were unaware of the difficulties that was inflicted on them because of his actions or so-called inactions. Because I cannot begin to see how a culture can accommodate that extreme level of criminality.
Even when a man is alleged to have stolen money meant for pensioners, for example, they are broshid men.
That's what really sickens. Because if you see old, frail women, they need to feed and eat before they eventually expire. If you know that pensions refers to people that can no longer work, they are no longer in active service, they need to sustain themselves, then again, that bothers, that's why I say, literally, you almost feel like throwing up. So we cannot continue to accommodate these extremes of human behavior that has direct consequences on our hospitals.
I would like to ask you what you think that the president should be doing right now as a leader of his nation. But let me quickly ask Malam Garba Shehu, with some of the commitment made by some of these countries and the frustration the Attorney General did give earlier that some of these countries are not living up to the obligations of returning some of these stolen assets. 85 million US dollars. That's how much you've recovered from the Malibu oil deal, which runs into billions of US dollars. What exactly is the government doing to get much of this money, recover much of this money? And for example, that Malibu oil money, do we readily have it as a liquid cash?
Yes, from what I have heard from our officials, the court, in deciding this matter, instantly ordered the funds officer of the court to transfer this 85 million US dollars to an accredited account of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I checked with our officials and they said all that is necessary to get back this money has been done. So therefore, the money will flow in. Why is it difficult that we can't get all of the money? It's because those countries, there is a conspiracy of the international system. A lot of these leaders, they say one thing and they do the opposite, part of that. All of this money is in their own systems, invested into lending and borrowing and all of these things, and they simply are enjoying our cash. and they don't want to let it go. And this is a huge conspiracy that we're confronted with.
For the President Muhammadu Buhari administration says he wants to fight corruption, and the sort of corruption that we hear these days, you've been reacting to some of these issues, and I guess you've seen what the PDP's reaction has been on the Maina Gate. What exactly is the federal government doing on that matter? The report has been submitted to the president, isn't it? But as it stands right now, the Senate is also investigating that matter. But again, it brings to mind how all of this has happened under the Buhari government. The APC itself even said they are embarrassed.
No. Please don't stick this on President Muhammadu Buhari. As we said in that statement, this is a mess. We inherited all of the minor saga, the drama, and all of the bribery and the sharing. 224 billion naira. He took over on the day he took that office. When he left, 1 million naira left. So look, it happened under the watch of the previous administration, and that's why we said morally they have no right to accuse us. What is the Buhari government doing? The president has gotten all of the reports. He's going to take a decision, but this issue is a big one. It's expanding, and we welcome investigation by just anyone. The Senate, the House of Representatives, in fact, the Interpol, they just put Maina on their wanted list now. A fresh new warrant has just been issued for his arrest. And all of the cases, you know that there are a number of ongoing cases in the country, which he was listed, would have been a part of. And now he's back on again. So he's going to have his day in court, and hopefully a lot more people. But as we said in that thing, look, people just sat down and were receiving cash from this man, knowing full well that it was the police pensions that he was sharing. People who ought to be investigating him, who ought to send him to trial, beneficiaries of that heist. In the coming days, the president will decide, and all of these things will come out.
All right, let's close the show now, but we'll allow Professor Imafidon to close for us. You've seen all of this play out. There's massive corruption going on, and the issues on the table. If you're to advise the president, you advise government, you have advised world leaders. What advice would you give President Muhammadu Buhari?
Cease exploring natural resources. Country is intoxicated with oil. Lost the senses. Let's focus on what made us great. Once great, it wasn't oil. We're a great nation. We have arable land. We have youths that we can develop. We're looking towards a great world in front of us where there are no national boundaries. You can sit here and develop an app and deploy it right now, not tomorrow, and somebody will buy it today. That is a global economy. If we allow oil, our so-called natural resources, to distort our thinking, we'll begin to sink even more into this.
All right. Professor Chris Imafidon, it's always an honor to talk to you, and it's a pleasure to have you. Professor Chris Imafidon of Oxford University in the United Kingdom. Malam Gabriel Shehu, spokesperson of President Muhammadu Buhari. Many thanks for having you tonight, gentlemen. That's our show for tonight. Many thanks for being part of it. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye for now.